They put a statue through a scanner and discovered there was a skeleton inside. You see, a monk had died of starvation while meditating, and his body became mummified. Later, his organs were removed and replaced with sacred scrolls. They wrapped his body in paper mache and painted it to look like Buddha. Over the next several thousand years, the statue changed owners many times, and no one remembered there was a corpse inside, until a new buyer wanted to restore it and realized there were human bones inside. If you're broke and need money, grab a box with the Mr. Beast logo and put a rock inside it. Now, go to a large mall while a friend records you with their phone and ask if anyone wants the mystery box in exchange for $5. They'll think it's a Mr. Beast video and that the box has $1 million inside, but they'll only get a rock and you'll walk away with $5. If you repeat this 20 times a day, you'll earn over $5,000 a month.
How to survive a week-long blackout. Close the doors and put up barricades on the doors. There are many thieves who think it's the apocalypse and will want to attack you. Take the food out of the cupboard and put it in the fridge. Even if it doesn't work, it protects the food from bugs and germs. To light the house, use candles inside cans with holes. You'll have a mobile lamp and you can also cook on it. Prepare plastic buckets in all the windows to collect water when it rains. And if you have to go out, try to go armed and with supplies. If a criminal gang corners you, you could attack them or negotiate your freedom with food or water.
Inside the assassin's teapot, there are two chambers. One is filled with tea, and the other is filled with poison. If you cover the hole over the poison chamber, you'll block the airflow, preventing the poison from coming out, and only the tea will pour into the teapot. If you cover the hole over the tea chamber, only the poison will be able to pour into your enemy's cup. If you cover both holes, no liquid will come out of the teapot, and if you don't cover any hole, both liquids will mix as they pour out. If you're at school and you see some bullies harassing some little kid, don't help him because they will beat you up. Instead, record a video for YouTube and the police will send them to jail. If you're lost in the ocean, don't drink seawater. You'll vomit and instantly dehydrate. If you've been abducted by a group of terrorists, hide your designer clothes and luxury items. If they realize that you're a rich kid, they will call your family and demand a huge ransom. If you're fat and can't lose weight, eat a lot of fruit. You'll fill your belly very fast and you won't feel hungry. A town in the United States started to notice a strange smell in the 1970s. The water had a bitter taste and people started getting sick. But what they didn't know was that their homes had been built on top of a toxic waste dump. Decades before the town was built, 20,000 tons of chemical waste had been buried underground by a nuclear laboratory. When construction of the town began, the waste started seeping into basements, gardens, and the water supply. The disaster led to the urgent evacuation of the entire neighborhood, and many families suffered long-term health effects. If you win the lottery, don't buy luxury clothes or cars. Everyone will suspect you have a lot of money and thieves will steal from you. If a construction building mysteriously appears in your neighborhood out of nowhere, check if the workers are wearing construction clothes and carrying tools. They are probably building a giant bomb to blow up your neighborhood. If you're driving and fall into a lake, don't waste time trying to open the door. It's impossible due to the water pressure. Instead, lower the window and swim out. If you're lost in the middle of the ocean and catch a sunfish, do not eat it. It has such a strong venom that it'll kill you instantly. The water began to recede rapidly, leaving the sea floor visible. People were confused and started to realize the huge wave approaching the shore. It was a giant tsunami caused by an underwater earthquake. As the wave approached, it grew in height, reaching 30 meters in several areas. It swept through the city with enormous force, destroying everything around it. The wave wiped out entire neighborhoods, leaving only rubble and destruction. More than 160,700 people lost their lives in this region alone.
How to always win at Uno. Never play wild cards at the start of the game. It's very likely your opponents have another one, and it could backfire on you. If the player next to you only has 2 cards left, play a reverse card. Remember, it's not about improving your own play, it's about messing up your opponent's turn. On the other hand, when you have a color change card, say colors you don't have, it's very likely they'll try to block you, but in the end, they'll actually be helping you. Finally, if the next player only has 1 card, you can pretend you don't have any useful cards and draw until you get a +4. No one will know what cards you really have.
How to spot a friend with depression. Ask your friends how they're doing. Someone with depression will often say I'm fine even when they're not. If you suspect a friend, create a music playlist with them. It's very likely they'll only add sad songs to cry to. On the other hand, if you have a ghost friend who doesn't reply to messages or show up when you meet, go to their house because they might be in trouble. Lastly, even the clown of the group who always seems happy might be hiding depression. Remember, not everything is what it seems.
If you're attacked by a swarm of bees, many people will go underwater trying to escape from them, but the bees will be patiently waiting to attack you when you come up for air. Instead, use your shirt to cover your face, protecting your eyes and mouth. Run without looking back and look for a safe place like a car. Once you're under cover, carefully remove all the stingers to avoid receiving even more venom.
A bullet flew in his right eye and got lodged deep inside his skull, and a second bullet hit him directly in the chest. This should have been a fatal wound, but somehow he survived. That's because he carried a small Bible in the pocket of his coat, which stopped the bullet from reaching his heart. Surgeons removed the bullet from his skull, and he lost his right eye, but the little Bible ended up saving his life.
If you're at a party and your drink is a little salty, do not drink it. It is very likely that someone put drugs in it. If someone is attacking you from behind, try to scratch him. You are sure to get a sample of his DNA in your nail. If someone kidnaps you in a car and they force you to drive, crash your car accidentally. It is very likely they aren't wearing a seatbelt. If you come face to face with a big lion, maintain steady eye contact and walk backwards very slowly.
In 2010, a teenager ate a live slug as a dare when challenged by his friends. The following day, he felt dizzy, was vomiting, and had a very strange pain in his leg. Doctors discovered that he had been infected by a very rare parasite, but they did not perform any treatment as they believed his body would expel the parasite on its own. However, the larva of the parasite traveled deep inside his brain through the bloodstream, causing the teen to slip into a coma for over 400 days. When he finally woke up, he had suffered serious brain damage and only had the ability to move his eyes and breathe. For the next 8 years, he was completely paralyzed until the day he died of a respiratory failure in 2018.
In 2018, a group of friends was exploring a cave in Thailand when suddenly the tunnels flooded with water and they became completely trapped. They were more than 3 kilometers underground and the flood had filled the cave tunnels with contaminated water. 10 days later, a rescue team found them, but they faced many difficulties navigating through the tunnel, and unfortunately, one rescuer died during the mission. Because of this, they couldn't find a safe way to bring the kids out conscious and unharmed. Their last option was to inject a sedative to put them to sleep, place a diving mask on them, and transport their unconscious bodies through the tunnels one by one. All 12 boys and their coach were successfully rescued after 18 days underground.
If you find yourself in a car that's dangling off a cliff, the smartest thing to do is to stay completely still. If the car stabilizes, unbuckle your seatbelt without making any sudden movements. Many people would try to open the door and escape. However, doing so would probably cause instability and make the car fall. Instead, try to roll down the windows and carefully redistribute your weight to the back seats. When you find yourself in a stable position, crawl out of the car as slowly as you can.